Hey guys, today I'm going to be telling you about my faith journey and some of the events that shaped me into who I am today and who I am in my faith. More from the early years of my life. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I was born into a family that really didn't practice any faith. My dad is Jewish, my mom is Catholic, and they decided to allow me to find my faith on my own, pretty much. And I really grew up like any normal kid did. I played sports. I went to school. Like I did all those generally normal things, and faith was never really a part of my life until I was about, I want to say 12, 13, when I went to BC High. Some of you guys who don't know what that is, it's a Jesuit Catholic school in Massachusetts. I went there for 7th grade, and I was exposed to the faith for the first time. And like, I'm a very generally an impressionable person, and I didn't really know what to expect going in. And even for that first year, like even being exposed to the faith, I didn't really feel anything. But little did I know, God was actually working in my life that whole entire time. I was born with a congenital heart defect called tetralogy FLO. It's basically when one of the valves in your heart doesn't pump blood properly all the way into your heart. So basically right now I have a fake valve that pumps the blood properly. It works just like a normal valve would. It just deteriorates over time. So I was in and out of surgery for months as an infant, and I was going at least twice a year for checkups or appointments or whatever. And 2014 came around, and I had to get another, like a big surgery to replace the valve to essentially allow my heart to keep functioning at a normal level. And we went in for the surgery. Everything went smoothly for the first couple of days, but as they did more and more tests, it seemed less and less successful. And I remember finding out the night that I was supposed to go home that I couldn't go home, going into the bathroom in the hospital, just bawling my eyes out. Probably one of the lowest points of my life because I had no idea what was going on. And one Sunday night, the night before they were going to do this big test to just kind of determine if they were going to have to go back in and fix anything. And keep in mind, my chest bone had been broken. I had a huge scar down my chest from where they cut my body open. I had tubes ripped out of my chest the day before, and they decided that they had to run this final test. And basically the night before, my mom and I went on a walk throughout the hospital. This is, like I said, a day or two after I got tubes removed from my chest. So this is one of the first days I could walk. So we went for a walk throughout the hospital, and she stopped in the chapel. And I wasn't religious, so I didn't know what she was doing at the time. And she went in there for maybe 5-10 minutes, and she got out, went on with our walk like we usually would. Nothing extraordinary really happened. But the next day during the test, they went in and everything was fine. And I actually got to go home that same day. And being where I am now, I can see how God was working in my life. But I definitely didn't know it at the time. So when I got done, I, went on with my life normally, played a bunch of video games, being bedridden for months. And that following year, or 2 years after that, coincidentally, being a huge sports fan that I am, my favorite player, Derrick Henry, won the Heisman Award. I'm a big Alabama football fan. If you guys follow me on Instagram now, you know I'm a huge Derrick Henry fan. But Derrick Henry won the Heisman Award, which is essentially the MVP for college football. And in his speech, which I will link below, he said never to be afraid to pray to God because he'll always hear your cry. And like I said, being an impressionable person, I kind of took that to heart almost. And that night I prayed for the first time. And I don't know what it was, but I felt something. And as I went about my days, I found that I was praying more and more, paying more attention to my religion classes, asking more questions. And as time went on, I really started to see the truth and life in Jesus. And like I said, going to a Catholic school, it was made readily available to me to see that. So about a year or so later in the fall, I don't know what it was, but something struck my heart that I wanted to join the church. And I made a decision with myself to go through the RCIA program, which, for those of you who don't know, stands for Rite of Christian Initiation. It's basically how non-Catholics join the church. They have to go through this program of readings. It's essentially like CCD, if you guys have been confirmed. They go through all that, and I did that over the fall and the winter, hours after Mass every single week, and I was able to get baptized, receive my first communion, and get confirmed all on the same night at the Easter Vigil. And it was genuinely the best moment of my life for many reasons, but it was really the first time in my life that I had made a decision for myself that I knew was significant and that I knew was going to alter the course of my life. And I can't even describe to you how much my life has changed being a Catholic and finding the love of Jesus in so many things that I do. So that's pretty much how I joined the church. There's a lot more after that, and I'll definitely going to tell you guys about that another time, but that's how I joined the church. That's how I found my faith, and from there everything has come in immaculate proportion through Jesus. Thank you guys for watching. Next week I'm going to be talking about more of where my faith has taken me and how I've discovered Jesus in new ways throughout my time in high school and even my first year of college. If you guys did like the video, please let me know, leave a comment for what I can do better, and thank you.